Hi there. So I'm going to be helping you figure out how to really create a good blog post that has a great flow. Blog posts really have a formula to them. They will have sort of the top part, which will be the title, which is what I wrote down here. And there's usually a feature image that pops up. In my case, my theme, I had to actually physically add an image, but in most cases you can start writing and the feature image will show up nevertheless. And then they have the first section, which is probably the most important section. If you're thinking about SEO, you want to use a keyword in that first paragraph. I always like to use it right there, bam, so that people know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's exactly what they've been looking for, what they searched for in Google. So in this case, my keyword is how to write a blog post. And I have that here. There are many reasons why you need to focus on how to write a blog post. Well, I should change that. How to write blog posts that people love to read. So anyways, I've written that there, and then I'll have a couple more paragraphs, 3 or 4 more paragraphs talking about the context, the problem, so that they can relate to the actual situation. So they can go, wow, yeah, I can understand exactly what this person's talking about because this is my issue. I usually end it off, the last paragraph is, let's get started, let's get going, let's delve right into this topic. But before that, if I'm going to be using affiliate links in this document, I like to add my disclosure right here so that it's close to wherever the content that has affiliate links is located, it's close to that. I know that there are some plugins that help that you have it right in this section, but it always looks a little bit awful when it's right there. It's better when it's actually closer to the actual affiliate links. So the first thing right after that disclosure, sometimes I like to add an image, which is usually a Pinterest pin. Sometimes people can't get to finish the whole blog post, so I give them a prompt that says, bookmark this post for future reference. And that way they can pin it and then they can go back to it from their Pinterest boards. So the first section, the heading, I like to make this a very general heading. So it's more of a summary. And what I like to do is, again, use the how to write a blog post key message keyword right here. That's what I like to do because that's good for SEO when you have it at least in one heading. That's all you need to do, one heading with the keyword. So here I would write something, top tips for how to write blog posts. And then I'll give a general summary of what's going to happen in this blog post, a few keywords popped in here as well, but I'll have basically general points of what I'm going to talk about and maybe a little bit more of a blurb as to, general knowledge as to the topic. Then I delve into the points. So this is fairly straightforward. You go, again, point 1, a few paragraphs explaining that a little bit further, point 2, a few paragraphs, and point 3. Now, in between here, it's always good to add a little bit of visual. So if you've got a visual right around here with the pin, maybe you want to add one right here just to break it up. And again, try to add something that's relevant to one of these points, okay? Next, you have the summary section where you basically summarize all of these key points that you have shared here, include a brief summary, leave them on a positive but hopeful note. So what you want to say is I hope that these ideas, these tips help you. And again, reference that problem that you've been helping them to solve. And you can also add here another call to action, like another Pinterest image, like what I added right here. Ask them a question, let them know that you can help them and how they can reach you. This is where at this point, this is where you can really kind of get them to do something. Because this is a great spot for them to kind of wrap things up. Again, I really recommend this is where you add a lead magnet. So an opt-in to a freebie that you're maybe offering that's relevant to the topic. Just to also let you know that if you're using this image and you don't want to, if you still have a lot of content here that looks very, very wordy, I would also maybe recommend adding maybe the lead magnet right here. You don't have to wait until the end. If it's relevant to this topic, whatever you've been writing here, blend it in and make it work for you. You can always just do a little quick line just to say something like, if you can't wait to get started on getting this problem solved, here's a free workbook on this topic that will help you. So anyways, that's basically how you create a blog post structure. It's very straightforward. It works very, very well. Now, you don't necessarily have to have these points with, headings with these points. Sometimes you can have just, let's say, if you're having lists, break those lists up. So categorize them. For example, if you have a list of the best baking cookie recipes for Christmas, you will say, here's something like the best Christmas cookie recipes, and you bullet point a whole bunch of, let's say, links or something, or tips or whatever, and then you'll have a whole list here. And again, maybe this is the best spring cookies, and again, you can do the same thing there. So long lists should be broken up. It's easier for people to find information and to read, and you can make this look really fantastic and easy for them to scan. And that's really ultimately what you want to do. One really cool trick about WordPress with Gutenberg is that you have these lovely blocks. If things are really, really tight, and if you want to make it look a little bit spaced out, like for example, sometimes this disclosure might be a little bit too tight to the first heading, you can use the spacer and you can make a little bit of more white space around it. I highly recommend this, particularly with images, because sometimes there's not enough space around them, and it becomes very, very tight between the image and your text, and then it just looks a little bit awful. Remember, white space is your best friend. You want to make it easy for people to see the text and not see a very cluttered page. That's all for how to write a great blog post. If you have any more questions, you know how to reach me.